Guys, welcome to Appalachia's Homestead with a quick video for you today. We have a lot of questions that have come in, so we're going to try to quickly answer those for you. A lot of folks are interested in a lot of things that we do out in the barn. Animal management, animal care, a lot of questions about chicks, baby chicks, how to raise them, and then what happens after you bring them out of the brooder. So we're going to try to very quickly hit a lot of these topics. The first thing I want to share with you is some of the things that we do in the barn. So I'm hitting specific questions, okay? Somebody asked me, when the chickens actually get older, do we have specific remedies and things that we use? I'm very big into food grade white diatomaceous earth. I'm very big into apple cider vinegar. I think it's very important that you keep certain things on hand, your probiotics, your electrolytes. You can buy the little packets. You will give the electrolytes to the chickie babies the first week or so, 5 days of life. You can check out my video on pasty butt and see why. You want to get all of those vitamins and nutrients and sugar and all. You want to give them a good jump start in their system. It's just really good for them. But overall, we have several things that we do. I keep apple cider vinegar in my water buckets on Mondays and Thursdays in the barn. Now, if it's a little chicks, then we obviously do the apple cider vinegar constantly. So after I move from electrolytes or probiotics, if they're doing really good, I just put a little splash of apple cider vinegar in their water container that I keep in the brooder. So someone was asking about that. So you can't go wrong with that. It's great for their system. The one thing I do want you to really know is if you use apple cider vinegar in any of your containers for any of your animals, make sure it's one of those hard rubber or hard like plastic containers. Do not put it in metal. So you need to know that. The two sprays that I use, which I've never used on a baby chick or anything like that, it's usually been an older chicken, maybe right before I put on a hen saddle, if there's been an abrasion or a cut on the leg where the roosters got into it a little bit. I have used, depending on the situation, I have used Vetericin and I have used Blue Coat. This is more for open wound management, okay? This is more of a closed abrasion, from what I can tell. This is a whole lot more inexpensive than this, but I keep both. This is something that you're going to want to get on hand as your chickens get a little bit older, because when an incident happens, you're going to want to be able to treat that. So while I'm very big into all of our natural things as much as possible in terms of prevention and care and management, when accidents happen or somebody gets really sick, I'm not going to be foolish either. So just know that up front, there's going to be things you may want to do or not do. In terms of prolapse, we're treating a hen right now for event prolapse. The main things that I've done for that is I have kept witch hazel on hand. Now this is something you may never deal with, okay? Witch hazel, you want to wash the hen in the backside, clean it with the astringent of witch hazel. You want to have, of course, plastic gloves. And then I have also been using Preparation H, sugar and honey, because the sugar helps to draw out the swelling from that area. It's a slow heal for her, but it is working slowly, so we're going to keep managing her, and there's a little feather in the air. So that's something else that we do. This is kind of like a care kit item. So we've talked about apple cider vinegar. We've talked about some sprays. That's more of an extreme situation, but it's nice to know you have those things or these things on hand in a little kit somewhere when something happens. You don't have to drive, like us, 26 or 30 miles to Walmart. It's just not manageable. So you learn really quick to have these things on hand. What I want to talk about, again, real quick, as I put everything back up here. Another thing that we do that we get a lot of questions about is diatomaceous earth. We are very big into white, food-grade diatomaceous earth. Do your homework and see if that's something you want to add to your farm or homestead. I do not just go crazy with it. I do apply it in sprinkles in my feeds. I put it in sprinkles on the floor when I clean, maybe a little bit in the nesting boxes if I feel there might be a mite situation in there. But just a lot of management in general. Flies do not come into my barn. I hear all these people say I read a lot of good positive write-ups about these things. And then you'll have somebody else come in and say, it's just not going to work. Well, come to my place and see what you think, and I'll show you just the very fine things that I use in terms of management for mites, flies, etc., etc. It's two things. I keep my white food-grade diatomaceous earth in here, sprinkle it. I don't do it every single day. Now in my feed I do, very minuscule. And then of course I make my own freshener spray. Of course, we've talked about that on my tips video. This is water, a little bit of Dr. Bronner's natural organic soap. I love the lavender. And then I use a little bit of eucalyptus and a little bit of tea tree oil in there. I've added that once. I go through about a spray bottle a week. And I just use it around the barn. I spray it around the entryways, spray it a little bit on the floor, on top of the little coop over here. Just misting. I mist the cow with it. When she comes into my barn, the flies do not come with her. I actually showed my husband yesterday. She was standing out in the field and she wanted to come in and she had, 15 flies all around her. She's a cow, right? She came into the barn, and as soon as she came in, as soon as her body came in, the flies went up and only one went any further. So they know there's something in here going on. They're like, we're not going in there. So I just encourage you to think about these things. Do your homework. Try things out and figure out what works best for your homestead. Read a lot of information. Ask a lot of questions of people. And go with your gut feeling on that, okay? Just want to say that. The next quick question I need to get to is talking about chick management. A lot of people go, okay, I've got the brooder, I've got them in there, I've got the heat source and their food and water, yada, yada, yada. Now what? Well, they're going to grow, okay? So depending upon how many you have in the brooder, how big is your brooder, is going to determine whether you split the brooder or whether you put them out in like a grow-out pen, as a lot of people talk it. Let me show you our grow-out pen. This right here, we have brought into the barn. This is our first little chicken coop. We brought it up here. Oh, you should have seen us trying to move this thing. It's not heavy. It's just it was just one big trip to get this here. It used to be outside. This is what my 4 red girls lived in. And once we realized we wanted to put them in the barn, we weren't sure what to do with that. And I said, well, if we can fit it in here, we can use that for chickie babies and, a love shack. We can do all sorts of things. And that's what we do. We use it for different things. So this is my original 19 chicks that I've gotten this season. A mix of, you've seen them on another film. They are getting quite big. They're almost fully feathered. And they're messy little Marvins, all pullets. And this is where they're living right now. So they have this really great mesh, thick wiring. So they're in contact with everybody in here. We had them for 30 or 40 days separate. We got past all of that. We got them in here when it warmed up. And now they're in association with everybody else. We will continue to let them grow in here maybe another, 2 weeks. And from that point, I will then move them into my stall. So obviously not everybody has a barn, they have a coop, they may not have the situation, but the point is you want to be able to move your chicks. If you already have established hens and roosters, you have to slowly acclimate them, okay? You can't just throw them out there. So that's what we do. So we go from brooder to grow out pen to stall. All of these stages are monitored. You kind of figure out which ones do best or do not. You might have to pull some back. So the key to all of these things in having healthy animals, a clean barn if possible, is daily management. That's another question I had. What do you do daily, weekly, monthly? Well, daily I do a lot. I spend probably an hour to 2 hours a day cleaning, feeding, managing overall. If a problem comes up, we don't let it just sit there. If an egg breaks in the nesting box, that nesting box gets cleaned. Belle's stall gets cleaned out about twice a day if we put her up early. We just keep things picked up. These things don't take a lot of time if you address them quickly, but that keeps parasites down. You don't want a lot of animals in a small area if you're not keeping it clean. So I know that sounds simple, stupid, but that really is the bottom line. Good management, simple management, taking the time. I take a solid 30 minutes every morning. We do, get dirty. We're dirty, and in the evenings. So just time management, and you flow with that. It depends on what's going on. So we like to keep a rotation in the barn. I've talked about that before. In other words, I like to keep my stalls open for potential movement. At any given day, I can put the cow over here. I can move the goats over there, or whatever. So over there, which I'm not going to move since we're running out of time, but we keep the Great Pyrenees is over in this area, and he definitely manages everybody. And of course we have the goats, and of course we have Mama Belle over here, and she was laying down. She wanted to come in early. We're getting there. So she was laying down, so she just now got up. So we hope this helped you out. I'll move back over here. Hope this helped you out. We just have a lot going on. We've got the ducks going back out to the main house by this Saturday. We've got, broody hens over here. We've got chickie babies over here. So we appreciate all your questions. If you like what you see, be sure to subscribe and check us out on Facebook and Instagram and our blog. And I just tried to hit a couple of topics. A lot of these topics are in several other videos, so be sure if you're interested in more information about chickie babies, check out the brooder video and, of course, pasty butt, because that's really good care management. So let us know if you have any more questions. We hope you like this, and we're going to get back to work, and we'll talk to y'all soon.